Welcome to the bold analysis. The president of Kenya needs to go back to State House and work so that the government is very big with several ministries. The ministry can dispatch officials to go and inspect ongoing projects. This image of president losing his temper, arguing with Kenyan people in the streets or rather in towns, especially when he faces disagreement with the young people, is not very good for the image of presidency. Some of us probably don't understand what exactly the president is doing on top of the car, because actually he's on top of the car and is still about one promise after the other. He's not going there, he's not there to say what he has done for the last 2.5 years. I think most importantly, we've been saying that the country needs to be told what so far we have done. Since 2022 general election, for the first time the president went to the Northeastern, and all he talks about is about a road that is to be constructed and a policy to remove ID vetting. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look at this video keenly because there are some 2 or 3 observations I want us to make.
Ukirusha mawe. Salamu alaikum. Poleni sana. I think there is nothing to talk.
Isiolo oye! Isiolo oye! Leo asubuhi nimeanzisha barabara ile inatoka hapa Isiolo kwenda Kulamawe, itoke Kulamawe iende mpaka Modogashe na baadaye iende Wajia, iende mpaka Mandera, barabara ambayo itasaidia wananchi wa sehemu hii na kufungua transport corridor ambayo itahakikisha ya kwamba Kenya inabadilika. Tunaelewana jameni? Tunaelewana? Ninyi vijana hapa nyamazeni. Yes. Sikizeni vijana. Yes, nyamazeni namna hiyo. Kwa sababu maneno mnayotaka tutasema hapa. Sawa sawa? Na mimi nataka niwaeleze wananchi wa hapa Isiolo wanataka mambo yao ya maendeleo izungumziwe na ipangwe, twende mbele pamoja. Watu wa Isiolo, ni kweli ama si kweli? Ni kweli ama si kweli? So mimi nataka niwaeleze nyinyi vijana, nyamazeni.
2 things. The leaders that were speaking, that leader who was talking there, you can see the heckling, the vigor in which the way these people are heckling is something that, as much as you may want to say that is organized, I know heckling really sometimes is normally stage managed, as much as you might want to run that narrative that heckling stage managed, but you can see across, it is almost 90% of the crowd heckling. The president's team, security team, were dispatched in the crowd. The Red Berets are the security team that created the ring around the president's convoy, but people are undeterred. People are unmoved. In fact, they were heckling right in front of President Ruto's security men. The Red Berets are there. They're looking at, they're looking at the scene, what's happening, and people are heckling like they don't want to know. So, I know for sure the president has been in the northeastern area for the last 3 days, and so today was the 4th day. And I think he needed to just ask some very important questions. I was talking to one of our subscribers who works in Isiolo. He is not from that area, but he works in Isiolo. He tells me that, of course, that is an area where people are dissatisfied with the government. In fact, tell me, of course, subtribes, Meru, Turkana, Borana, Rendile, quite the Somali, there are different communities staying there, and it is a town that is sharply divided on. In his own assessment, when you talk to a Borana, there is always a fight of so and so is fighting us, so and so is doing this against us, and it is a very volatile town. So I want to believe that probably the president's team never told him. Of course he knew, but that Isiolo town is not a child's play. Isiolo town is very volatile. Now, by the time he was getting to Isiolo, and in fact, Isiolo iko nyuma, kama that trip, if that northeastern trip, he's supposed to go to Isiolo first. Then probably from Isiolo, you go to Garissa, then probably Mandera, Rada County, or Wajir, then Mandera. So you arrive in Isiolo first, before fika hizo areas zingine. But he opted to go to Isiolo last. Why? Because he wanted to create the momentum. By the time I get to Isiolo, I've created the momentum. The president lost hope, of course, lost his temper, and in another swipe was telling off those that are heckling that there's some drug dealers that have sent them to heckle the leaders.
Tunachukua hii muda kutukaribisha hapa Isiolo County. Tunasema rais akaribie Isiolo County, ameleta maendeleo tosha.
Excellency, karibu sana Isiolo. Sisi kama watu wa Isiolo, unaona venye tumekukaribisha, tuko na furaha kwa sababu tangu asubuhi umetupea maendeleo juu ya maendeleo nyingine. Your Excellency, ukiona hii crowd ni vijana tupu, na hawa vijana hawana makazi, lakini ile kitu leo umefanya hapa ya kuleta aggregation pack hapa itaweza kupea hawa vijana ajira waweze wajisaidie. Your Excellency, pia umefungua slaughterhouse pale ile ambayo italeta ajira mingi kwa hii vijana. Vijana tuko na president, tuko na yeye, tuonyeshe kwa majina.
Hapa Isiolo, Marsabit, tumekuwa na matatizo ya watu kutoka nchi nyingine wanalete madawa ya kulevya hapa, wanauzia watoto wetu. Mimi nataka niwaambie hawa wenye kuuza madawa tutawasafirisha. Hakuna vijana wa Kenya watalishwa madawa hapa Isiolo ama sehemu nyingine yoyote ya Kenya. Hapa Isiolo, Marsabit, tumekuwa na matatizo ya watu kutoka nchi nyingine wanalete madawa ya kulevya hapa, wanauzia watoto wetu. Mimi nataka niwaambie hawa wenye kuuza madawa tutawasafirisha. Hakuna vijana wa Kenya watalishwa madawa hapa Isiolo ama sehemu nyingine yoyote ya Kenya. Nasikia wale watu wa madawa wameleta hawa vijana kuja kupiga kelele hapa. Nyinyi vijana, Sikizeni vizuri, hamuwezi kutisha serikali ya Kenya. Sikizeni vizuri, mnanielewa? Hakuna mtu atatoka nje ya Kenya akuje hapa aseme ya kwamba madawa itauzwa tauni hii. Hakuna madawa itauzwa Isiolo, na mujaribu mtaona. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Yes. Mimi nataka niwaeleze watu wa Isiolo, matatizo ya Isiolo sisi tutatatua. Nimesema barabara tunajenga na tutajenga. Tayari contractor yuko hapa anaendelea na hiyo mjengo. Tunaelewana Isiolo? Na mimi nataka niwaambie ya kwamba maneno ya vitisho pelekea watu wengine. Maneno ya vitisho pelekea watu wengine. Hii Isiolo mimi nitajenga. Abattoir yenye iko hapa ni biashara ya wafugaji, watu wa Isiolo na watu wa Northern Kenya. Hii Northern Kenya vile tulijenga barabara kutoka Mombasa.
Now, of course, I know for sure, for the 20 minutes that the president was holding that rally lasted for only 20 minutes, and it was the shortest rally, by the way. He made the shortest rally in Isiolo. The heckling, even throughout president's speech, people are heckling. Let me say, even leave alone even the leaders, even throughout the president's speech, that heckling was going on. Those people were heckling. So it is not something new. That's number one. It was something new. And so the discussion about the drugs, eti mtu ametoka nje, amekuja hata leta madawa, it's a bit displaced, and I think the president just changed the narrative because he knew that the media is going to carry that story that is being disapproved, or rather is being heckled. And someone would want to say that it is the local leaders. If it is the local leaders that are being heckled, then why is the president bothered? That narrative of some people have been given drugs, some drug barons are here and they're complaining. I'm not seeing it in the picture because for the days that the president has been in the northeastern part, let me tell you, one of the things, nasikia, and I think a friend was telling me, kama unaona hii bangi inauzwa Nairobi and these other areas, it comes through that route. Hii barabara yenye naongelea, it's Ethiopia, Yale, all the way, Marsabit, then it's packed somewhere in Isiolo. So, Isiolo is actually the base for that bangi. Someone was giving me that marijuana, someone was giving me that story. But, the president decided to keep mum on that. He decided to keep quiet on that. He never mentioned, he was in Mandera, he was in Wajir, he was in Garissa. He never mentioned about the issue of drugs. In fact, even in Isiolo, he had not, when he gave his speech, he had not mentioned about it. So, if someone felt, because those people that are shouting and are heckling are actually heckling the local leaders. But the president alleges that someone who is not from Kenya is coming and then to me, that is not the gist of why that heckling was happening. But the president created that spin to try to create a narrative that, I'm being heckled because some people, some drug barons, this and that, and they're the ones that have stage managed it. It doesn't look, for me, it's not it, because that's a crowd. How do you know that how when you're buying, kama you knew that someone has gave them money, some gave them, those drugs so that they come and heckle, so you would have stopped them. You would have stopped them. You have the intelligence. But I think someone just gave the president intelligence bila kusema hao ni wenye wamepewa bangi, rais hao ni wamepewa bangi kwa kujua vitu kupigia kelele. For what? I think we must just get the real reason why the heckling happened. Now, Ruto is pointing finger at some drug barons. But I realized there are a lot of flaws, mistakes, and even yesterday, he spoke about, I should not be lectured. Now, that is the irony of it. I should not be lectured by someone who did not go to school. Maybe I went and I have PhD. Someone is saying that, Mr. President, if it is about PhD, then you should not lecture us about economy, because you cannot have a PhD in economy, a PhD in botany, a PhD in security, a PhD in everything. Then you should only talk to us about botany and mambo ya agriculture. But then you should not talk to us about economy if the PhDs what makes you now be a know-it-all? Now, the young people that are protesting there, yesterday the president was attacking Kalonzo and the team for not being learned, and for him is the PhD holder. Those young people that are there are not PhD holders. They don't even know that PhD. So it really speaks to what is going on there. There's some few things that I'm seeing. This is the real message that President Ruto should have from whatever happened in Isiolo. Number one, when during the Northeastern tour, the president surrounded himself with the local leaders that were elected through local elected leaders. It is clear that if you want to use that as the path to, consolidate the ground, then that is misplaced, because those leaders are not popular. That Guyo is not popular, and the leadership, those local leaders that they are not popular. So if they're not popular, then what is it? It could be people feel that the leadership there is not doing enough. And if the leadership is not doing enough, then it's about the county government. So is national government supporting the county government in delivery? Are there rampant corruptions that are being protected? Let me tell you, the problem with corruption is a national government function. It is not devolved. Of course, you can't devolve it, I don't know, for some reasons. But those who are down there, the governors, are wafanyi kazi. The president should know that those people he's surrounding himself, those people telling him, Rais watakusupport 100%, Rais will give you backing. Those people don't have the numbers. And that is why the population is restless and cannot even listen to them. That is a clear message that needs to come from that place. Number two, these two projects, Isiolo Mandera Road pitch and the ID vetting, is a dangling carrot that was supposed to create some excitement. Even at the expense, even in the presence of the president, people are still showing their disappointment with the things going on. It only shows you that probably they're not so catchy as they may think too. In fact, that news is that issue of lifting ID vetting. I think it's good news to our neighboring Somalia countries and Ethiopia, and not Kenya, because now it will be easy to get the IDs. But it's not attractive. And the other issue is this: the president is exhausting his relevance. Sometimes when you become too available, until watu haogopi ni rais, haogopi na security wako wana heckle, and the president anaangalia nasema vijana nyinyi, but those people, they are doing their thing. So I think the president needs to go back to State House. That needs to rush back to State House and work from State House. See these reports. Tuma hawa watu waende wakwambie, this is it, let them take the photos, this is the progress, this is what is going on. Because I can still tell you, even when you go kwa ground, those people still take you to areas they want you to see. Natambia nasemanga, rais hata kupeleka kwa vitu ambavyo areas wanataka uone, place wataki uone watakupeleka. Even in Northeastern, they will take you to specific areas telling you that's a hot spot, that's a, soft spot, watch spot. So I think the heckling in Isiolo is a wake-up call for the president to go back to State House. Thank you.